Today's Excel VBA programming tutorial topic is for next loops. For next loops allow us to execute a section of our code a number of times. The format of the for next loop is shown here. We have a section of code that will be executed a number of times. It's easiest to understand by looking at an example. Here's our task. We want to add together the numbers from 1 to 5. Algebraically, we have the right-hand side of this equation, the sum from t equals 1 to 5 of t. Here's the VBA code we'll be using. We're first going to set sum equal to 0 before we look at any of the integers. Then we're going to set t equal to 1 and execute the code here. So we have 0 for sum, and we're adding t, which is now holding the value of 1, and so we've summed the first variable. The code executes to the next t statement and then jumps back up and increases t by 1. Now it sets t equal to 2. So it adds 2 to the previous sum, and so now our sum is equal to 1 plus 2, which equals 3. It hits the next t statement, jumps back up to the top, and continues executing again and again until it accomplishes the same thing as we see here. Adds together the numbers from 1 through 5. Now we'll look at a more practical application. We're going to write our own bond price function in Excel. First, we'll have a look at the bond pricing equation. We take the sum from t equals 1 to n times 2 of the present value of each coupon, and then we add the present value of the principal payment at maturity. As you can see, this would be an obvious application of the for next loop concept in VBA. We're going to write our own bond price function, which uses these inputs to calculate the price of the bond. Let's have a look at the code I wrote previously to accomplish this task. In order to write our computer code, we'll have to insert a module into our VBA project. So we're in this for next loop spreadsheet. We've created module 1. In that module 1, I'm going to paste the code that I previously created. We're creating our own user-defined function called bond price, and we're going to pass it the same 5 parameters we saw in the Excel spreadsheet. First, we've created our function called bond price. That function ends here. So whenever this bond price function gets called in our spreadsheet, it will execute the code in between those two statements. We start by calculating the size of our coupon payment. We take the annual coupon rate times the face value, and we divide by the number of coupon payments per year. That gives us the numerator of the bond pricing equation over here. Next, we're going to discount each one of those cash flows from years 1 to 3. There are actually 2 payments a year, so we have 6 cash flows to discount. Here's our for next loop. We're going to loop for t equals 1 to 6 times in this case, and execute everything between the for and next statements each one of those times. So we'll start by setting t equal to 1, and that will give us the present value of the first coupon payment. And then we'll add that to our variable sum, and that value will carry forward. Next, we'll loop back up and set t equal to 2 on the second time. And we'll add the present value of the second coupon to our previously existing sum. And we'll continue this looping process until we've added the present value of each of our 6 coupons. Next, we need to add the principal payment at maturity's face value to our sum. That code occurs down here. Here's the present value of the principal repayment at maturity. We'll add it to our sum and carry that number forward. Finally, we have to set the name of our function, which is bond price, equal to that sum before we exit our function. At this point, the code will stop executing and the value of the bond will be returned into the spreadsheet cell. Let's use the function we've just created. I'll type equals bond price, and Excel has found our function. We'll hit the tab key, and that will bring the full function up. Then I'll go up here by the menu bar and click on the function box button. I've conveniently placed the input parameters here in the same sequence they appear in my spreadsheet. So it's an easy task to fill in the parameters Excel will calculate the price of the bond and return that value in the cell. This concludes our tutorial on 4 next loops.